Yo, it's your boy Zerk. And yo, Greg Doucette just made a video reacting to Derek on Joe Rogan, and they beefing over caffeine. Caffeine! They having a whole debate about how many milligrams you need. And the funniest part? They're both right, and they're both wrong at the same time. This some quantum physics shit. Look at this setup. On one side, you got Joe Rogan, the man who talks to aliens, and Elon Musk. He's sitting there with $100 million in the bank, looking deep. And sitting next to him is Derek from More Plates, More Dates, the Death Star of shoulders, the guy who knows every chemical structure of every steroid since the Cold War. And then you got Coach Greg. I watched this whole 3-hour podcast, and then I watched Greg's response. Joe Rogan used to eat 15 gummy bears a day to get his creatine. Sitting there chewing on fruit snacks like a toddler in a car seat. Yum, yum, tasty bear. Bro, you were worried about microplastics. You were worried about the government. You were worried about the collapse of society. But you were eating red dye 40 and sugar because you're too lazy to use a spoon? Derek's on Rogan talking about caffeine doses, and he goes, the most tried and true studies show 3 to 6 milligrams per kilogram for repeatable high-impact performance. For a 200-pound dude, that's like 270 to 540 milligrams. That's 2 to 4 energy drinks. That's a lot of caffeine. And Greg watching this like, no, Derek, that is not true, in all caps. Greg's whole argument is you don't need that much. 1 to 3 milligrams per kilogram works fine. Derek's gonna make people overdose. And then he starts talking about his friend who can only handle a quarter scoop of pre-workout. Some people can drink coffee at 9 p.m. and sleep like babies. Others drink a Diet Coke at 2 p.m. and they up till 4 a.m. They're arguing about the same thing, but from different angles. Derek's talking about what the studies show produces the biggest effects. Greg's talking about what regular people should actually take without dying. It's like one dude saying a Lamborghini can go 200 miles per hour, and another dude saying, yeah, but you shouldn't drive 200 miles per hour to work. Both statements are true. Y'all just talking about different shit.
Unless you're a tiny woman, 400, 500, 600 milligrams are the doses that actually really move the needle when it comes to acute performance enhancement.
That's wrong. They're saying 3 to 6 milligrams, which for me is perhaps 250 to 500 milligrams of caffeine pre-workout, is what most studies are studying as in an effective dose. It's 1 to 3.
Studies show 3 to 6 milligrams per kilogram gives the most consistent performance boost. That's what Derek said. That's true. But studies also show you can get benefits as low as 1 to 2 milligrams per kilogram. That's what Greg said. That's also true. The difference? 6 milligrams per kilogram will have you vibrating, sweating, heart racing, can't sleep for 12 hours, anxious as hell. 1 to 2 milligrams per kilogram, you get a nice boost without feeling like you're about to have a panic attack at Planet Fitness.
But in general, the most tried and true studies when it comes to repeatable high impact was like 3 to 6 milligrams a kilogram.
To Derek's credit, he did clarify on Rogan, you can get performance enhancement as low as 1 milligram per kilogram. It depends on the person and tolerance. So Derek agreed with Greg's main point. He just said the high impact studies use 3 to 6 milligrams. Here's what neither of them really explained properly. Tolerance matters. If you never drink caffeine, 100 milligrams will hit you like a truck. You'll be wired for hours. If you drink 3 Red Bulls a day, 100 milligrams ain't doing shit. You'll need 300 to 400 milligrams just to feel normal. That's why the studies use higher doses. They testing on people who already got tolerance built up. But Greg's friend who never drinks caffeine, quarter scoop got him zooming. Studies show, yeah, 6 milligrams per kilogram works great for performance, but it also causes anxiety, tremors, can't focus, upset stomach, can't sleep for 12 plus hours. So technically, Derek's right. That dose works, but at what cost? You're gonna set a PR on bench press, but then spend the next 8 hours shaking and unable to form complete sentences. Worth it? For a pro athlete? Maybe. For some dude trying to look good at the beach? Nah.
Are you still doing the like million gummies a day?
Of what?
of creatine.
No.
You said you
no.
were going to crank that shit up to get to 20 grams.
I stopped with the gummies and I went to powdered form.
Now we arrive at the main event, the gummy bear incident. Greg yells, "It's a scam. It's sugar. It doesn't work." Creatine monohydrate is a diva. It's high maintenance. It loves to be dry. It loves to be a powder. But the moment you put creatine into water, or worse, into a gummy, which is basically water, gelatin, and citric acid, it starts to panic. The acid attacks the molecule, the moisture breaks it down, and the creatine turns into a little ring structure called creatinine. Do you know what creatinine is? It's trash, it's waste, it's what your kidneys filter out of your blood so you don't die. It has zero performance benefit, none. So when that bottle of gummies sits on a Walmart shelf for 6 months, inside that little bear, the creatine is slowly dying. By the time you buy it, you ain't buying 5 grams of muscle builder. You are buying 1 gram of creatine and 4 grams of expensive flavored pea waste. And Joe Rogan is eating these. And for what? Because he can't lift a spoon? Oh, mixing powder is too hard. Bro, you hunt elk with a bow and arrow. You sit in an ice bath for 20 minutes freezing your nipples off, but stirring a spoon and a glass of water is where you draw the line. Oh, that's too much work, Jamie. Pass me the candy. Greg challenges them. He says, if I love money so much, why don't I sell gummies? I'd make millions. And he's right. But he won't sell gummies. Why? Because it's a scam. Now we get to the final battle, the big one, the reason half the internet hate Coach Greg, turkesterone. For 2 years, people have been calling this man a snake oil salesman. They said he was selling fake dirt in a capsule. They said he was robbing kids of their allowance money to buy more bicycles. Oh, Greg is scamming us. It's all fake. But then, something funny happened. Something very quiet. Go to Derek's website. Go to Gorilla Mind. Try to buy his turkesterone. You can't. It's gone. Poof. Reduced to atoms. Why? Because the supply chain collapsed. It turned out almost all the raw ingredients coming out of China were fake. They were bunk. They were basically oregano and prayers. And Derek, to his credit, realized his supplier was shady and pulled the plug. He stopped selling it. And Greg is screaming at the camera, "I told you so." Why? Because Greg didn't buy his stuff from a random warehouse in Alibaba. Greg says he went straight to the source. He claims he sent his guy, Marwan, flying across the globe to Uzbekistan like Indiana Jones. He went to the mountains of Central Asia to find the holy grail of plant roids. Now hold on. Does turkesterone actually build muscle? The science is still kind of meh. Some studies say yes, some say it's a placebo. But that's not the point of this video. Here's the real answer. Both of them right, and both of them wrong. Derek's right that studies show 3 to 6 milligrams produces the best results. Greg's right that most people don't need that much and will get side effects. They're just arguing about different aspects of the same topic. It's like 2 dudes arguing about whether a knife is sharp. One dude saying, yes, it can cut through steak easily. And the other dude saying, yeah, but you shouldn't cut yourself if you're not careful. Both true. Y'all just talking about different shit.